Welcome guys to Maramures. We are now in Vadu, Izei, which is a very beautiful valley in Maramures, right between Sighetul Marmației, which is a very northern point of Romania, and other Maramures villages. Everything is so traditional and authentic. I love it.
Except your shoes.
Except my shoes. And guys, this is all hand embroidery. And the lady of the house has had this since she was 15 years old. And she's been wearing it ever since at local celebrations every Sunday and at parties here in the village, because everybody gets to change in their traditional outfits. So this is why Maramures is a living museum, because you see history everywhere happening around you, tradition everywhere happening around you. I just found a mini-me in the shape of a bottle, which contains palinka, the 56 degrees alcohol spirits drink here in Maramures, which is pretty hot. So I'm just gonna keep it here because I wanted to show you the traditional hand embroidery here in Maramures. We also have something similar in my region of the country, in Moldova, but here in Maramures you actually exhibit it and you show it to the world and see how beautiful the patterns are. We have here the plates, the clay plates, the manual painting on them. You have here the towels, which are being also used for decoration, also hand embroidered. So everything is made out of wood, hand embroidery, very colorful, and it's very traditional for Maramures.
Yes, the cat for some reason it likes to go wherever we are.
This is the mini.
It's following us. You should dress the cat in this kind of small outfit.
Oh.
Then he will hate us for sure and he will not follow us anymore.
Yeah. Well, and also what Michael is wearing is also handmade and it's very old. It's like
this is sheep wool and sheep leather.
And these are all hand embroidered, and the pants, his pants also are made out of cotton. And what are you wearing on your head?
Yes, I have a cloth on my head. Yes, this is the traditional Romanian Maramures headwear. The people wear this to protect their head against the sun, so that their bald spot is mostly protected. Even though I don't have yet a bald spot, it's still good enough for me. Here is where the plum trees are growing, out of which you make the palinka or the Horinca, as the locals call it. Yes.
I love your outfit, I swear. I'm in love with your outfit.
Oh, thank you. But unfortunately I have to give it back because it's not mine. Even though, I don't know, it would be a little bit too hot for me to sit with this big jacket, but yeah. And also my footwear are not appropriate. Normally people wear opinci, which are leather sort of shoes strapped to your feet. But considering these shoes are made out of leather, they kind of work. I don't know. You tell me.
And this is our mascot.
Yes, it looks like Gigi made a friend again.
Yeah.
And obviously this friend is a cat, because why not?
Meet my friend!
Oh, what's his name?
Fluffy, I think?
Fluffy?
Yes.
Okay, very nice. The Fluffy is very cute. I think it's time we go and continue our adventure and see.
Welcome guys to Sapanta, or the Peri Cemetery. It's a Unesco World Heritage Site, and why is it so special about it? It's a cemetery and it's blue, it's very colorful, and this is why it has the name Mary, right?
But the crosses are a little bit different. As you can see, the crosses are blue and they are very colorful. There was a guy here, he had a job, but he decided to make colorful crosses unlike anywhere else in the country, and he started doing this business. And in this cemetery there are 800 crosses. All of them are blue and colorful. The color blue is typical for this region, and on each cross you have inscriptions hand chiseled, and these inscriptions they tell a funny story more or less about the person that died. One of which was very interesting, was the fact that here lies my mother-in-law. If 3 days would have passed, I would be here instead of her and she would read this cross instead of me. So, or something like this. This is typical Romanian. In case something goes bad, you make a joke of it and you go on with your life, and this is life. Things happen, so you cannot do anything. In this case, people die. So somehow, to mock death and to be remembered in a funny way, this guy decided to build these crosses out of wood and paint them.
We just visited the memorial house of the first person who made the
crosses, yes.
crosses here in Sapanta, in the Peri Cemetery, and we also saw the person who is making the crosses here in Sapanta, in the Peri Cemetery, and the only person who's making it by hand, being an apprentice of the original master.
Yes.
And this carpenter is a very, very nice person.
He basically knows all the people in the village more than anybody else. He's like the
living museum.
Living museum, yes, I would say, yes.
Cât timp voia să faceți?
Rapiditatea merge cam 3 săptămâni.
3 săptămâni.
Început final, dar nu lucrez numai la una.
În paralel, nu?
De exemplu, acum eu lucrez la tabloul ăsta, o dau vine curățată tot, vine în albastru și după aia lucrez pe cealaltă de acolo. Aia e pregătită pentru lucrare. Cred că mai e urme pe ea. Și am cealaltă, acolo vedeți în picioare acolo.
Da.
Și în final, anul ăsta...
Gata?
12.
Serios?
Da. De câte ori am venit pe aici, nu mai era aprezat.
Și dumneavoastră veniți cu textul sau îl
Da,
primiți?
eu fac text, eu fac imagine aici, n-am nevoie de intervenții.
Îi știți pe dumneavoastră, pe toți din sat?
Scapă unul să nu știu.
Da, corect.
Aici e cam... Sunt mulți care nu mă cunosc pe mine.
Da.
Și eu cunosc.
Le știți
Acum mai ales
povestea?
bătrânii care nu prea ies și asta. Sunt foarte mulți când stau de vorbă cu ei și numai după ce le spun că cine sunt pe ei.
După aia își dau seama.
Bănuiesc ceva.
Da. Ce fain.
Nu mai e așa ca mai de mult.
Mr. Dumitru, the master here at the carpentry workplace, he is a very nice and funny guy, and he has some issues with the priests here.
Yes.
But, well, it's a long story. Better come here and he will explain everything for you.
Yes.
He knows French. I think he speaks also English. So you will definitely understand his point of view and understand why the crosses are so funny.
Every cross has its own story.
Created by this guy.
Created mostly by this guy or by the original sculptor. The original sculptor's cross was made by 2 apprentices, and it was made while he was still alive. So he supervised the making of his own cross for his own grave.
Yeah, people still do that.
Which is very, very weird in my opinion. I mean, I don't know, I cannot comprehend the fact that I'm gonna die at one point, but have somebody make the cross or make my own cross, that would be very morbid and very weird. This is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This is something that is unique in the world. Nowhere else in the world you will find something like this. All the crosses are mostly done by hand, and I've seen sculpted crosses everywhere else, but not like this.
They don't have a story.
They don't have a story. And
Right.
exactly, this is what Gigi's told me when we were inside the cemetery. Normally when you're in a cemetery, you see a cross and you have no idea who the guy was or what was his story. In this cemetery, you go inside and you see the story of all the people who were buried there, what they were doing in their life, how they died, and in a very funny, kind of sad
Poem.
way. So yeah, there's also a monastery here, and we're gonna go and check it out. But first we have to find the car, because I parked it somewhere here and I forgot where. What do you got there?
Cabbage pancakes. Coffee. And
What
oily
the
pancakes.
Hell. And we finally made it to the monastery, which is basically across the main road of the village. And there you have it. This is the biggest wooden church in Europe.
Wooden construction.
And wooden construction. Yes, the biggest all wooden construction in Europe.
It's called Sapanta Peri, and this
Sapanta Peri.
is Sapanta. What did I say?
Sămânța.
It's called Sapanta Peri, and this is the largest, tallest wooden construction in Europe, 75 meters.
Yes. And from what we learned, it was built in the 90s together with the help of the sculptor Mr. Dumitru, which we visited earlier. He told us that he helped the priest, and together with people around the area, they built this monastery here. All of it is made out of wood, which is very, 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 very nice. I mean, I've been to monasteries before. When I was a kid, my dad, being very religious, he was obsessed with going to basically all the monasteries in the country that he could find. And therefore, I also visited a lot of monasteries when I was a kid. But here I never got the chance to come. And this one is a little bit special and a little bit different than the others. The place is pretty much empty, but we're gonna show it to you. And my advice is, when you're coming to the Merry Cemetery or to the Happy Cemetery, or however you want to call it, drop by and swing also by to the monastery, because it's equally as impressive as the cemetery. I mean, check this out. You have this huge church built entirely out of wood, and then the rest of the whole complex is built mostly on a wooden structure. That's something you don't see more or less anywhere. And that's something that makes Maramures County special.
I think God just asked for a special delivery.
Really?
Asked one.
Or he's going to deliver something. Just a moment when I was saying that there are no people here and tourists should come to this place and visit it as well, a big freaking bus full of people just arrived, and they started flocking around and taking pictures and making videos of everything. So yeah, that goes to show you that this place is still popular with the people, even though I didn't thought it was popular. But I like to be proven wrong.
We arrived at the Barsana Monastery, one of the most important sightseeing points here in Maramures. At the similar level with Sapanta we just visited. So welcome to Barsana.
The differences between the traditional Transylvanian monasteries and these ones here are the fact that these ones in Maramures, they are made out of wood. In Maramures, things are a little bit different. The buildings are just scattered very nicely on top of this hill. The monastery of Barsana is a little bit special here in Maramures. Records of a church around these places in the village of Barsana, which coincidentally is also my last name, show that there was a church here at the end of the 13th century, 1390 to be exact. But the wooden church, the main one, the one behind me, it was built in 1710, and it was moved around 2 times because of the plague. So it was situated on top of a hill. They moved it back inside the village so that the villagers can come to the monastery and listen to the sermon. This was happening, I think, around 1790. So more or less this whole church has been built at the end of the 17th century. So not bad for a 300-year-old building.
I think Michael already told you that this monastery, Barsana, has the same last name as our family name. So it's basically ours. On another note, this is where the holy water is kept, and people believe that if they drink this they might get cured from their illnesses. It's a good treatment, and it's holy, it's being made holy by ceremonies and processions. Regardless of your religion, of your background, or of who you are, what you look like, you can come inside. No one's gonna ask you anything. Just come inside, just inhale this relaxing peace and air and fresh and grass and the smell of flowers, and just chill here. What are we doing on the road?
Cracking nuts.
Mike is cracking nuts with bare hands.
Yes. Because I'm a bear and I have hands.
Bare hands.
Yes. Gigi, where are we?
We're in the most touristical village in Maramures, the village called Breb.
Or in the middle of nowhere. Yes, there are pumpkins here. There are no roads. There are horse and carriages. There are scattered houses around the place. There are people working in the fields, plowing the hay, and it's like we're stepping back in time into a land long forgotten. Nevertheless, from what I know, this village somehow attracts a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people who are living in the city, they love coming here and they love experiencing the village life and the outdoorsy quiet time of this village. Even Prince Charles from England, he came here and he bought 2 houses, I think, and after that people started flocking towards this village and massive hysteria and pandemonium started happening and a lot of people started visiting these places. The only noises that you can hear in this village are some chainsaw noises or some cows or some horses. Other than that, it's pretty much as remote as it can get. Just Gigi, just look at this small house.
Hey, come on. You have like a cabbage field in front of it. This is called Casa din Vale, which is the valley house.
Yes.
They have rooms for rent. And you have Casa Fina, which is the cool house.
Yes, the cool house.
The cool house.
Yes.
A lot of tourists here. Oh, Casa Ludokia.
Ah, look, Casa Ludokia, Breb and butter.
Shura Lui Costan.
Okay, Breb and butter.
Bread and butter. That's so cool.
Okay.
So welcome to the village of Romania, which is like mostly owned by foreign tourists. Which is what? It's kind of weird. But welcome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Kind of weird, but
Oh, just look at the flowers.
yes. And the cow is eating the flowers. These
Oh
are
my
the
God.
perfect diet for the cow. Purple flowers of the fields of the village Breb.
Very important question, guys. Would you consider to move here?
In this house?
In this house?
I would move in this house.
Would you?
I mean, you have here apples, you have cows,
So pretty.
you have grapes for sure. The only problem I would say would be in the winter, because I guess in the winter the cold is a little bit harsh around here and there's a lot of snow. But other than that, I mean, I could see myself living in a village. Yeah, sure, why not?
So village life in Maramures. How is a foreigner perceiving this kind of a lifestyle? I would be curious to find out what made them move here. You know?
Yeah. Oh man, this soup looks so good. But first, we have a plum and we have the after product. And in Romania, before eating, it's customary to have a small sip of Horinca or Horinca. In this case, Horinca, because we're in Maramures, and enjoy the food. But cheers, guys. Warms you up on the inside. This brings back memories from university. I had a colleague who was from here, and every year he would bring a bottle of this stuff, especially for us. Oh yes, very good. Gigi?
Thank you. Okay, the first sip wasn't that hard. Oh no. Start to feel it. I feel the plum. Smells so nice. Whew.
How is this compared to the one that your dad makes?
Similar. It's similar.
Better or?
This is stronger, definitely. I mean, if you want to make it this strong, you can make it, but like, this is good.
Okay.
I love it.
Okay, you can have it because I'm driving and I had just a little sip, so that it will give me like a good appetite. So that's why I will not drink it.
I think I have to sip it throughout. Let's dip in. Fresh bread. Fresh soup. Bean soup. Smoked meat. Oh, I still feel the palinka.
But how's the soup?
Very tasty. Very, very tasty. Feels like you feel the smoked meat a lot, and it's very soft. I don't know, somehow soup is soft and hot. It's good. I love it.
Okay, I had too much food, so we have to share this. Because there's a lot of meat here. That's what she said. There's a lot of meat here. Okay. Hello! See? I'm going uphill with the car without doing anything.
Închide ușa. Oh my god! What the hell is this place? Oh my god! What is going on?
The engine isn't even on.
The engine is stopped. Wait. Go left. Go a bit on the... Oh my god! The engine was...
Stop.
Oh my god. No, don't do it. Okay, so the car is going uphill backwards without Mike controlling it or whatsoever. The car is turned off. The car is climbing the hill. That's incredible, I swear. Okay, get on your side of the road, at least steer it. Oh my, the car is off. Oh my. Can I go up?
Yeah, come.
Because there's cars going up and down. And that's kind of freaky. That's freaky.
I read on the internet about this place. It's called, in Romanian, Zona Cușmen, or the cool place, or the freaky place, I would rather call it. So it's very interesting. You have like a hill, and you basically turn the engine of the car off, and the car goes up the hill by itself. Gravity is somehow working the other way around. I mean, you saw it. First, I was showing you that I'm not pressing anything. I kept the feet out of the car. And then second time, when I came backwards, I even turned off the engine of the car, and the car just kept rolling uphill by itself.
That's crazy, man.
That's very crazy.
I couldn't believe you had the car turned off and the car was going backwards uphill.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
They say that even the water, it flows uphill over there. It's some kind of weird place. I don't know, maybe it's an optical illusion. I have no idea, but it's fun. I mean, going uphill with a car with the engine stopped. That's something you don't see every day.
That's crazy. That is crazy, guys.
Maramures has a lot of interesting places and interesting spots.
Weird.
Yes.
It's very, very weird.
For sure. Okay, that being said, let's continue our journey, because I think we stopped. There's a lot of cars coming here, and we just basically stopped like idiots in the middle of the road. And the people were driving past me, and they were looking at me like, what are you doing? What? Why are you getting out of? Why do you want to get out of the car in the middle of the road? Is this a Kiki challenge or some shit? My music wasn't even turned on. So yeah, that being said, let's continue the road and let's see what weird things Maramures has to offer to us.
Let's do it.
That goes to show you, Maramures is a very odd place in this country. You never know when freaky roads just happen to be there, where your car goes uphill in the middle of nowhere, or I don't know, villages where foreigners are living in them and there's no COVID and no quarantine and no nothing, and monasteries out of wood. I mean, who would have guessed? This is a pretty special place if all of these are happening. I mean, the next thing that could happen is aliens landing here, and I would not be surprised, because they would come for sure to get some Horinca, because it's very good. So that being said, guys, it's getting dark. We should find a place to sleep. This is Michael, this is Gigi. We are Dodo Explorers, and please subscribe to our channel, and thank you for watching.
See you in the next one.
See you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.